First of all, as the title suggests, we're gonna make this quick because we're gonna limit input. By the way, I got a new haircut today. It's like a mullet, weird ass fucking angle. But as you can see, it's a fucking mullet. Looks better in, by the way. Yeah, my shoulders are sore as fuck from yesterday's workout. Anyways, I am grateful. I am grateful for Carnival tomorrow. And I'm grateful for my friends who are my classmates. We're working on the same. We're gonna open a stall on tomorrow's carnival at school. So it's like a big program every single year in our school, and there's a lot of people coming in, and we're gonna open like a shop of foods and certain kind of items based on Asian foods. So it's basically us trying to, sell off, start a quick business out there, shopkeeping, like basically a shop, like a small restaurant or some shit. You probably understand that. So I'm grateful for my friends. We worked the whole day today. I couldn't even have the time to read my book, but I'm gonna read it later on, just quickly. And of course, I have to like compromise and adjust with my sleep because tomorrow directly after waking up, maybe I take some cold shower, do my morning routine, but I will not be able to do my deep work as much like I usually do, which is the reason I should go to bed early today. And also, I'm really grateful for my friends because we worked today. Really, we worked our ass off. We've never done this shit before. And also, I am grateful for my haircut today. Haircut, it is a fucking mullet because after a very long time, it gives me a more of a fresh look than before, as you can see. And I can sacrifice. What can I sacrifice more today? I can sacrifice. Let's make a big jump, right? Playing guitar. So essentially, I'm gonna like sacrifice playing guitar, not for the rest of my life, but for this purpose of mine, which is like essentially about some few years from my life. I'm gonna sacrifice playing guitar because for me, guitar is really distracting, right? I've been practicing guitar when I was a kid, and then I'm kind of pretty in the flow with it. I wouldn't say I'm very excellent or I'm very good at it, but I'm in the flow with it basically. So it kind of distracts me sometimes because I would like take rest and play guitar at the same time. Yeah, but then I'm kind of coping because yeah, it's a good skill, it's a musical skill. Sometimes we must just get into the flow state, but it kind of drains my willpower and my dopamine so that I like to the point where I get bored to even read some books or record some videos. So it kind of hurts, even though it's like a very low-key dopamine stimulating kind of activities playing guitar, even though it's an expression of creativity and oneself, it still doesn't align with my goal, which is why I'm gonna sacrifice that. I know this is a big jump because but it's possible because I've done that before earlier in 2021, 2020. I didn't even give a fuck about playing guitar, right? So this is like a big sacrifice that I'm making, and I want you to do the same if you want to continue with this extreme reset. This is day 9. If you have already started, might as well follow along and end up with it. And limiting input. What do you think about when you hear about limiting inputs? It's essentially limiting inputs. Okay, inputs are the information that you bring in your mind. I actually got this concept from You Can Achieve More by Shiv Kara. It's essentially telling us that everything is an input for our brain. Our brain is a factory. It's a factory, and whatever we input, we output. Okay, whatever information we input in the form of contents, videos, music, news articles, books, readings, and the words you tell yourself, the words you listen to, the people you interact with, all of these are inputs that you fix in your brain, your factory. Your brain is a factory. And then what happens? You generate a certain type of attitude acts which makes you act a certain way, which makes your life end up in a certain way. Basically, whatever you input, that determines your life. So in this, like, modern world, we get information a lot from YouTube, from different content creators. We get different content creators even on Instagram. Then we have TikTok. Then we have Twitter, and we have all of this. One Andrew Tate is saying to sleep with a lot of women, and then Hamza is telling to reject degeneracy, and some people are not even telling anything. Some people are telling to do no fab, and some people are telling to stop video games. Some people are telling that identity is the key to self-improvement. Some people are telling that self-improvement is bullshit, it doesn't work, just work on your life. Some people are telling that we should strive to be our best self. Some people are telling that best self isn't a thing, it's not supposed to be perfect. There's a lot of information out there. Basically information, that's what we'll put it, inputs, because it is. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of opinions of people out there, especially if you are quite understanding. It's like, especially in this modern world where the internet makes us all have a freedom of speech and just come on camera and just talk about our own shit. That creates like a huge set of information given to you, including me, by the way, if you're watching this live stream, including me, which is why we want to take time in solitude like we did in week one. But this time we wouldn't indulge much in the inputs, right? Which is why with the goal that you have written, for me it was networking with 100 people and then reaching 20,000 subscribers and then making $10,000 a month by the end of 2024. I'm gonna write down every resources that I think I need right now with my current information, with my current wisdom and knowledge. So what do I need? I need to read certain books. What are the books? Maybe it's The Millionaire Fast Lane. Maybe it's Zero to One. Maybe it's The Lean Startup. Maybe it's The Personal MBA. Maybe it's also the book. I'm mentioning about the books, right? The Lean Startup, Zero to One, The Millionaire Fast Lane, Almanac by Neville Ravikant, The Personal MBA. I have all of these books. These are the books that I need to read 12 months from now. That I need to complete 12 months from now. I don't need anything else. I don't need to fucking read, like, for example, what could I say? I don't need to fucking read Sapiens, which is a good book still about the human history of evolution. It's a good book. But according to my goal, I don't need to read that. I actually can sacrifice reading that because it doesn't mean much. I need to limit my input so that I can make the maximum effort in my learnings, in my minimum input that I get, so that I can make the best out of the minimum input. Because I like this concept, and I think I want you to understand this concept too. I believe you should. A man who tries to catch a lot of rabbits ends up catching none. This is exactly what it is. You don't need so much information. You don't need this. You don't need to do a lot of things. You just gotta limit as much as possible, and as much as you can, you need to focus on that. And that is the thing that I've been trying to ingrain with my life. Straight up, bro. First of all, I'm not perfect at this. Okay, I'm not perfect at, and while focusing on one thing, I distract myself a lot. That's what I've always been doing. Like, to be honest, I've been switching from business model to business model. I've tried affiliate marketing, that I've tried, gaming so that I can earn online. I've tried YouTube shorts. I've tried a lot of shit basically. I've even tried to learn e-commerce, but figured out it doesn't work for me. If I focused from day one on affiliate marketing, maybe I would have achieved a good level of success by now. But I didn't. I switched my shit, right? And it's about consistency. It's about making the best out of what you have. I sometimes I can also help but think about My Hero Academia. It's an anime, Bakugo. Bakugo, he has only one quirk. He has only one superpower. Unlike his rival friend, which is also a hero who have a lot of superpowers, who is like a favorite child of the anime, who is like the protagonist of the anime. But Bakugo the guy with only one superpower, makes the best out of it. Kind of like relentless mindset. You gotta make the best out of what is given to you, and you want to limit as much as possible because you don't need that extra information. You don't need to watch that YouTube video, do you? Now we could talk about limiting inputs, like yeah, quitting porn, quitting like junk food, like limiting input, bullshit inputs. But there's a step higher to that. Because quitting bad habits, managing bad habits, these are all like level negative, right? Once you get to level zero, then you start thinking what to do next, which is where I am at. Then I start thinking what to do next. Then I start thinking about, yeah, quitting YouTube videos. I don't need to watch all of the recommended YouTube videos that may be relevant to my goal, may be relevant to my interest. I don't need to watch all of them. I don't need to watch tens of fitness videos about how to bulk up if I can get the best out of just two, three of them. As much as I can, I'm gonna limit my input, right? If there is a recommended video on my homepage talking about female gaze or, looks maxing, it's kind of cool. We want to look better, of course. We want to kind of know the female gaze and understand it so that we can use it to our advantage. But I don't need to watch that. And frankly, if you're being honest right now, if you're young and then if you don't have any success in your life right now, I think it is the same for you. You don't need looks maxing right now. Maybe it's good to look good, but you don't need to watch that video right now. You would rather watch some educational videos on how to achieve your goal that you have set for yourself, which is very important, which is like, which also makes setting a goal at the first place very important. So it's kind of like everything that is given to you, you don't have to consume all of them. And then we could also take it to the next level, where finally you're reading the book that aligns with your purpose. And then you're reading the book. But you don't need to read the introduction page. You don't need to read the acknowledgement. You don't need to write the extra notes given by the author. This fucking book on my table, Influence, is a fucking thick book. I don't need to read the notes given by the author. Of course, it is cool, mad respect for the author, but come on, man. I also have respect for myself. I don't need to fucking read from page number zero to page number last. I don't need to do all of that. That is like the next level. And I'm quite excited for what's next to come after that level of limiting inputs. But right now, think about what you have been overstimulating yourself with, because majority of the time you know when you are over inputting yourself with something, when you are doing over inputs, when you are like putting yourself with unlimited inputs. You have thousands, like hundreds of videos downloaded on YouTube. You have, a lot of educational videos, even though they are educational. You have a lot of them. But it's only when you limit them that you get the most benefit. Because what happens when you try to fix all of them, right? What happens when suppose me, I try to learn coaching, I try to learn how to become a superior man, I try to learn how to do sales, I try to learn how to influence people, I try to learn how to communicate better and speak better, and at the same time grow my YouTube channel whilst being a student. What happens then? All of these inputs, information, I'm learning about them every single time, spending like quite a few minutes or even hours of my day for each of them. After some few days, I end up not being great at anything. I end up not knowing anything. But suppose maybe if I just fixated on my YouTube, on my studies, on how to communicate better, all of these three alone, maybe I could have gotten more better at it than before, than what I would have if I just try to focus on all these three things that kind of aligns with my purpose and kind of aligns with my interests, but aren't necessary. So every single time you want to think about, like every single time you look at a YouTube video, every single time you see a YouTube video on your homepage, or Every single time you find yourself trying to input yourself with some information, whatever it is, books, videos, music, ask yourself, do I need to consume this? Do I need to listen to this music video right now, or am I just feeling like it? Do I need to watch this video? Is this actually important, educational, and aligns me with my goal to the point where it gets me next step to my goal? It gets me closer to my goal. You need to ask that question whether it does or not. And when we're talking about getting closer to your goal, I know it sounds like a vague concept, but if you think about it, there are certain things that get you kind of closer to your goal, makes you a better person, capable enough to reach your goal even more better and faster, efficiently. When you are trying to learn calisthenics, of course, learning calisthenic video on YouTube will get you closer to your goal. But again, even among those calisthenic videos that may be helpful for your goal, you need to determine which of them are actually essential and which of them are not. Because again, there are thousands of information out there already, and if you keep consuming all of them, you're gonna waste your time first of all, and second of all, you're gonna end up knowing nothing because you've been trying to get up with everything, trying to cope up with everything. So I think this awareness, this reminder of yourself whenever you're trying to consume something online most of the time, this question of whether or not it is necessary or are you just feeling like it is very important. Because when we talk about feeling like it, majority of the time we think with our emotions, we think with our feelings. Now, this is a totally different topic about something maybe we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Stop thinking with your dick or some shit like that. Because I have a lot of shit to talk about in that type of topic. We're gonna cover that tomorrow. But sticking to the title of this video and then the title, the main theme for today, limit input. Right, just because you have watched this live stream and then I'm talking about limiting inputs doesn't mean that you go search up on limiting inputs. Maybe you are genuinely interested, which you can do so, but ask yourself again, is it necessary to do so? Maybe you see a looks maxing guide video pop up on your homepage. Is it necessary for you to watch? You already know everything that you need to do, actually, don't you? You see, because majority of the reason you want to limit input is not because you want to avoid learning, not because you want to stop growing, stop, having this new mind of set, new way of thinking, which is actually positive for you as a young man who is a lifelong learner. It is not all of that. It is the fact that you already know what you need to have. You don't need to fucking learn another video about looks maxing. You already know you. Drink a lot of water, eat a good diet, get well, get good rest, cleanse your face, moisturize your face, apply sunscreen. All of these basic shits, I can name more. This is just an example of looks maxing. You already know all the shit. Go to gym, look good, feel fresh, style better, style your hair according to the face shape, create contrast in your look. You already know that. You don't need to fucking binge watch. Because if you think about it, the reason you are over inputting something inside of you, inside of your factory, which is your brain, is because you feel like it. Once you get a presence of mind, a more level of mindfulness in you, you automatically realize at that moment when you're trying to consume whether or not you should consume. And I think this is in and of itself a very important practice, a very effective one. And at the end of the day, it also has to do with willpower. It also has to do with how much strong are you at that moment, because you could be thinking in your mind that this is bad for you and but still end up watching it just because you didn't have much motivation to quit, just because you didn't have much energy or willpower, any like willpower to quit, like keeping on consuming that content that you knew you shouldn't be watching, you knew you shouldn't be necessarily watching. So at the end of the day, it comes to conserving your dopamine, because no matter how much you are aware about what we are talking about here, you need to have enough motivation to act right away. Right? So Yeah, that's pretty much about limiting inputs, everything that you need to do. So you see, the best thing about learning something like this is that no matter if you are gonna apply it right away or not, the more you live on with your life, the more that thought of limiting input multiplies, connects dots with whatever information you have. It's kind of like, yeah, you're reading communication book, how to influence and influence people. It talks about how you should be an empathetic listener. You go about your life, there's thousands of conversation that's happening in your life, and through that you learn, you gain experience, you start to develop a vision, a point of view from your own like human self in a way that other cannot. Because whilst you are out there observing people's intention, their presence in a conversation, the words they use, the listening, their eye contact, their body language, when you are out there doing all of that, they don't even notice that they are doing that. Your friends don't even notice they are doing that. The people who are in front of you interacting with each other, they don't know that they are doing that because they have never developed that sense of point of view like you. And how did you develop that? Because maybe 6 months ago you read one page of how to influence and influence people, one chapter of that. So even these small informations that you're learning, which may not be necessarily practical at the moment, can bear like exponential growth in you to the point where even your point of view of life, your view of life changes, your perception of things changes entirely. When you look at me, if you are a type of like person who is obsessed with looks maxing, the first thing you're gonna talk about, the first thing you're gonna observe, the first factor is like my face, like my look, my hair. How is my hairstyle? Is it like matching me? Is it like the right type for me? How am I styling myself? And if you're a type of bodybuilder, you would first look at my body, you will look at my shoulders. If you're into fitness, you will do that. Or maybe if you're type of like, quite feminine, quite, into like decorations and all, you will look at my room first. You will look at the fact that there's a fucking wire hanging up on top of my bed. Like, I actually do this shit so that I can grab it anytime and then charge my phone down there so that, I don't have to consume extra space. I'm taming my environment. And I'm gonna talk about a lot of that and how you can quit bad habits by taming your environment itself, and more about something like that about bad habits, especially fapping. I made an entire video on that is being uploaded right now in this moment. I believe this video will be uploaded by tomorrow night, for sure. Like, bro, it's almost like a month now trying to make the video. Recording it was easy as fuck. Editing it, making the thumbnail, writing the description, doing time span, getting the resources. This shit is hard as fuck because I need to purchase the data pack so that I can just upload my video, which is like take it takes a long time because we need to wait for the right network so that we can get the recharge done basically. And on top of that, the uploading time takes a lot of time. Are you are AU China? AM not China, bro. AM Asian, AM Mongolian, AM Indian. I am Indian, but my ancestors are Mongolian basically. My ancestors, which I don't even remember, because it's like a lot of. It may be a myth or something like that that our ancestors Mongolians, we kind of like ran out from making the Great Walls of China because it was too laboring, so we ran to the neighboring state or neighboring country, which is the eastern part of India. So boom, we have an Indian which is kind of like Asian, yellow skinned. Yeah, not trying to be racist right now, but facts. Facts, bro, facts. Look at this Chinese arms, bro. Again, I'm not trying to be racist because I look like one actually. Yeah, because a lot of people tell that I kind of look like Chinese. And bro, when I go on Omegle and there's like people doing like this shit to me, bro, I kind of get pissed off sometimes. They'll be telling, oh, ching chong, ching chong. Come on, man. Come on, man. I used to go on Omegle a lot of times, right? When it was like quarantine and all that, kind of bored. So, you know, but I had some different intention. I wanted to get some pussy, but fucking weird kind of lifestyle to live. That is not the way I want to live right now. And yeah, so see you tomorrow. Improve your life one step at a time, always.